The Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for a while now, and the lineup is pretty good, but the corner games that are so good they make you cancel plans. Today, I'm counting down 15 titles that hit a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. Pure, no filler, no compromise gaming. Let's get into it. Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2. In the first game, Bowser crashes a festival, kidnaps Peach, and sends Mario flying into space. He lands on the Comet Observatory, teams up with Rosalina and her Lumas, and hunts down 120 Power Stars scattered across dozens of galaxies to take the fight to Bowser at the center of the universe. The second game is more stripped back story-wise, but it more than makes up for that with sheer level creativity. It's Galaxy 1 turned up to 11, now with Yoshi in the mix. The core mechanic that makes both games feel unlike anything else is gravity. Planets, asteroids, and tiny planetoids all have their own gravitational pull, so Mario can run upside down, jump between surfaces at any angle, and use physics itself as a tool. It's disorienting for about 10 minutes, then it becomes pure magic. Every galaxy introduces something new, rolling on a ball, surfing on a manta ray, ice skating, and almost none of it is ever repeated. Mina the Hollower. You play as Mina, a mouse inventor from the Hollowers Guild, who gets called to Tenebrous Isle by her old friend Baron Lionel. The island's spark generators technology Mina herself built are failing, darkness is spreading, and monsters are everywhere. Then, her ship gets attacked, and everything goes sideways fast. The gameplay is built around one central mechanic, hollowing. Mina can dig underground, burrowing beneath obstacles, enemies, and hazards, then popping back up where she needs to be. It feeds into combat, exploration, and puzzle solving in ways that constantly surprise you. For weapons, you pick from 3 distinct options at the start: a fast dagger, a flail that reaches across the screen, or a hammer that hits like a truck, and you can unlock 2 more later. The world is one big interconnected map with 6 distinct biomes, no quest marker, and secrets everywhere. Blueprints is a first-person puzzle roguelite where you inherit a 45-room mansion with one strange condition. Find the secret 46th room and the estate is yours. The catch? Every single morning, the mansion resets. Doors shuffle, rooms randomize. You have to draft new rooms as you move through the house, choosing from 3 random options every time you open a door. And each room you enter costs you steps from a limited daily supply. Run out of steps, and the day ends. You wake up and start over. Keys, gems, coins, you collect resources to unlock certain rooms along the way. Permanent upgrades persist between runs, so you grow slowly over time. The story unfolds entirely through notes scattered across the mansion. No NPCs, no cutscenes, just documents hinting at blackmail, political corruption, and a vanished author whose history is woven into the walls of the estate. Pragmata is a sci-fi action-adventure set in a lunar research facility. You play as Hugh, a space engineer sent to investigate why the station went silent. The answer? The AI went rogue, all the humans vanished, and rampaging robots are in control. Hugh nearly dies immediately, but gets saved by Diana, a small, childlike android who has technical genius but 0 life experience. They team up to survive, and their relationship becomes the emotional core of the whole thing. The combat is genuinely unlike anything I've played before. You're essentially controlling 2 characters at once. When you aim at a robot, Diana starts hacking it. A small grid pops up and you navigate a cursor through nodes using the face buttons, while Hugh simultaneously shoots, dodges, and reloads in real time. Around 15 hours to finish, and the game keeps introducing new enemy types that force you to rethink your approach. The second chapter of Square Enix's Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. Cloud and his crew leave the city of Midgar behind and step into the wider world. Where the first remake was focused and linear, Rebirth opens everything up into massive, densely packed open zones filled with side quests, minigames, chocobo riding, and more things to do than you can count. The story continues following Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, Barret, Red 13, and newcomer Yuffie as they chase Sephiroth across the planet, with every character getting meaningful moments and development that the original 1997 game never had room for. Combat builds on Remake's hybrid system, real-time action with ATB bars that let you pause and queue commands, but now adds synergy skills where party members combine for powerful team attacks. Every character plays differently enough that swapping between them in battle is always interesting. Hollow Knight Silksong. You play as Hornet, previously the bossy rival from the first game, now captured and waking up in Farloom, a bright new kingdom far from the darkness of Hallownest. She needs to fight her way upward to the citadel of Farloom. Hornet plays completely differently from the original Knight. She's faster, more aggressive, more acrobatic, healing uses Silk instead of Soul, encouraging you to play offensively. The world is a Metroidvania, like the original. One massive connected map, over 150 new enemy types, unlockable abilities that open up areas, boss fights that demand everything you have. There's a quest system now, giving you clear, optional goals from NPCs along the way, which adds structure without killing the sense of discovery. Team Cherry also gave Silksong a free DLC expansion called Sea of Sorrow, announced for 2026. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade covers the opening of Final Fantasy VII Cloud, a former elite soldier turned mercenary getting hired by Avalanche, an eco-activist group blowing up Mako reactors to stop the Shinra Corporation from draining the planet's life energy. That's the surface level. Underneath, there's a story about identity, memory, grief, and the weight of destiny that slowly gets more surreal and genuinely bold as it goes on. The combat is a hybrid system you fight in real time, but the ATB gauge fills as you attack and lets you pause combat to use abilities, spells, and items. Every character handles differently. Cloud shifts between quick and heavy stances, Aerith shoots magical bolts, Barret fires from range. This Switch 2 port includes the Intergrade PS5 upgrade and the Intermission DLC starring Yuffie, whose ninja combat, throwing a giant shuriken and copying elemental abilities, is probably the best single-character kit in the game. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles. The story follows Ramza Bulv, a young noble cadet in the kingdom of Ivalice, as two rival factions wage war over the throne after the king's death. It's Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones. Betrayal, political corruption, class warfare, and a hidden supernatural force pulling strings behind everything. Ramza's best friend, Delita Hayrol, follows a completely different and equally compelling path through the same conflict. The gameplay is turn-based combat on isometric grid maps. Your party consists of units who can switch between dozens of jobs, from knight to mage to samurai to dancer to geomancer, and mix and match abilities across jobs to build wildly creative team compositions. The Ivalice Chronicles adds quality of life upgrades, autosave, fast forward, 3 difficulty levels, and an optional overhead camera. Classic version and enhanced version both available. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Set in 1937, a mysterious break-in at Marshall College leads Indy to Vatican City, where he teams up with journalist Gina Lombardi and uncovers a global conspiracy surrounding a phenomenon called the Great Circle, a series of ancient sites aligned across the planet that the Nazis want to weaponize. The game is mostly first-person, with third-person moments for climbing and whip-swinging. It's part immersive sim, part point-and-click adventure. You explore massive open areas, talk to NPCs, solve environmental puzzles, collect artifacts, and sneak past guards or knock them out with a frying pan, because that's exactly what Indy would do. Combat is deliberately not empowering. Indy survives on wit and improvisation, not superhero abilities. Puzzles feel like they belong in the films. The production quality is outstanding. Lighting, cinematics, sound design, all of it feels like a Spielberg production.
I am always in control.
Square Enix went back to where it all started and remade the first 2 Dragon Quest games in the HD 2D engine, the same stunning style used for Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy. And the result is something that feels both deeply nostalgic and genuinely new. Dragon Quest I has you playing as the descendant of the legendary hero Erdrick, tasked with crossing the land of Alefgard alone to defeat the returned Dragon Lord. It's a classic solo RPG, now expanded with new locations, new combat abilities, boomerangs, whips, scrolls that teach new spells, and a fuller cast of characters. Dragon Quest II picks up generations later, following 3 heirs of Erdrick across a wider world that's under attack by a new threat. Where the first game builds a legend, the second earns it. And this remake adds so much new story content, new party dynamics, and an entirely new underwater kingdom that it barely resembles the sparse NES original.
Thou shalt not escape!
Hades 2 puts you in control of Melinoe, sister of Zagreus from the first game, a witch trained by Hecate to defeat Kronos, the Titan of Time, who escaped from Tartarus and imprisoned the entire House of Hades, including Melinoe's family. Every run, you push through biomes full of monsters, collect boons from the gods, and try to reach Kronos. Die, return to the crossroads, and go again. Each death revealing more story, more character moments, more dialogue. There are actually 2 paths, one going down toward Hades, one going upward toward Olympus, essentially giving you 2 full game-sized dungeons to master. Melinoe plays very differently from Zagreus. Her combat is more magic-focused, built around a magic meter that powers up Omega versions of attacks and hex abilities from the goddess Selene. Arcana cards, familiar companions, alchemy, crafting, gardening, there is a lot going on. But it all feeds the loop in satisfying ways. Cyberpunk 2077, the complete version, including the Phantom Liberty expansion, is now fully playable on a handheld, and it is legitimately impressive. Night City is a massive, dense, neon-soaked open world set in a dystopian near future. You play as V, a customizable mercenary whose brain gets implanted with the mind of a dead rock star named Johnny Silverhand, played by Keanu Reeves. Johnny starts taking over V's consciousness, and the two of them, who despise each other, have to figure out how to survive together. The story is one of the best in an open-world RPG, morally complex, emotionally heavy, with side missions that rival the main quest in writing quality. Gameplay is a first-person action RPG. You shoot, hack-slash, or stealth your way through missions however you want. Skill trees let you build V as a tech expert, a street brawler, a netrunner who ghosts through cameras and remote hacks enemies, or a blade-swinging berserker. Pokémon Pokopia. You play as a Ditto, shapeshifted into human form, waking up in a post-apocalyptic version of Kanto, where all the humans are gone and the world is in ruins. With the guidance of Professor Tangrowth, your mission is to restore the environment, attract Pokémon back to the land, and eventually figure out what happened to humanity. Think Animal Crossing meets Minecraft meets Dragon Quest Builders, which makes sense because Omega Force, the Dragon Quest Builders developers, co-made this with Game Freak. You build habitats, gather materials, plant gardens, construct facilities, and terraform the environment biome by biome. As you befriend Pokémon, you can copy their moves, learn Bulbasaur's vine growth to plant fields, use fire types to smelt metal, get Girder to help with heavy construction. The Pokémon themselves feel alive, wandering around their habitats, interacting with each other, making requests. The Super Mario Odyssey team's next game might actually be better. Donkey Kong Bananza is a 3D platformer where almost everything around you can be destroyed. Voidco, a villainous organization led by Void Kong, steals giant Banandium gems from the mines and causes DK to fall deep underground. There, he meets Pauline, a 13-year-old girl trapped in a rock who can sing to unlock sealed areas, and the two team up to reach the planet core, where legend says any wish can be granted. The destruction is real-time voxel tech that the Switch 2 is uniquely capable of running. DK's fists tear through earth, stone, and structures, which lets you bypass levels, find buried secrets, create your own paths, and express yourself in ways no platformer has before. Beyond punching, there are Bananza transformations, temporary animal forms that give DK flight, super speed, or a charge punch powerful enough to blast through the hardest materials. Resident Evil Requiem. Grace Ashcroft is an FBI analyst, daughter of an RE outbreak survivor, who gets sent to investigate a murder at a hotel and wakes up strapped upside down in the Road Hill Care Facility with a giant monster lady trying to eat her. That's your opening. From there, the game alternates between Grace and Leon Kennedy, with Grace's sections playing like classic RE7-style survival horror first-person, limited ammo, scarce resources, a stalker enemy, typewriter save rooms, and Leon sections playing like an evolved version of RE4, action-forward with a shop system and a Tetris inventory. The two playstyles complement each other perfectly and keep the pacing tight across a 12-hour campaign. The zombies in Road Hill have individual personalities left over from their human lives. One hates loud noises, one follows routines, and you can use their behaviors against each other. Grace can trip a zombie with a leg shot and bowl it into a group. "15 games, all of them 10 out of 10 on the Switch 2. All of them worth your time in completely different ways. Whether you're into cozy building games, brutal roguelikes, tactical RPGs, or straight-up survival horror, this console has you covered. Drop in the comments which one you're playing right now, and I'll catch you in the next one.